You know, there's several thoughts I'm having right now, and one of them is, where were a lot of you in November? It's good to know what's at stake. Thank you for being here. I want to thank Sarah Scranton for that introduction and everybody who helped organize today. And it is great to see so many people because it is our future that is at stake. You know, a lot of you are young. I'm seasoned. I'm not old, but I'm seasoned. And I see some of the women that were up there, and I really have to tell you, I never thought I'd have to be at a rally like this today at my age. I and many of the women out here remember what it was like when I graduated from college. And when I went to that first job interview and someone said, why would a woman want this job? And when I went to the DIC and had to go in the back door because we weren't allowed in the front door. And when my insurance at General Motors covered the men but didn't cover the mammogram. And when health research in this country funded by the federal government didn't include women because we had hormones. We fought for equality. And I think too many young women today take for granted what you have. But I honestly have to say to you, I never thought I would have to fight to keep what we fought for and earned. And there are other people out there that are trying to define this as issues that we have to remember what we are fighting for. A couple of weeks ago, the Republicans passed a budget, and you've heard about it already this morning, that prevents Planned Parenthood from receiving any federal funding. Let that sink in. And let me remind you that they also eliminate Title X. Do you know what that meant? That simply meant that that we as women could also participate in sports programs like the men did. Did we ever think they would try to take that away? By taking these actions, they're cutting funding for cervical and breast cancer screening. They're cutting funding for HIV tests, for immunizations and blood pressure screening, routine gynecological exams, STD treatments, and contraceptives. I want to note that Title X was signed into law by that liberal, former President Richard Nixon. That's what they are taking away. It's an indication of how extreme the Republicans have become. We cannot allow their agenda to become law. So today, don't let others define what this is about, because they're trying to out there. This is about the most basic issues, equality for women. So we thank Planned Parenthood for their bus tour. We thank them for going across the country. Thankfully, in Ann Arbor, you do not have to worry about your elected officials. But you know people across this country, and they don't understand that what they want to do is take away women's health care, that me and fought for what I have. You need to think and be grateful, fight and protect what they got, and make sure we keep progress happening, not going backwards. Thank you for being here.
Wow. Well, that sure was energizing. Thank you, Mrs. Dingle. The next speaker here today embodies the reason that we are all here. She embodies the reason that someone like me or other staff members at Planned Parenthood go to the office each and every day, despite protesters, despite some of the people we see here. Cinda Mills represents one of the nearly 90,000 people we serve in Michigan each year. Cinda is a metro area sales representative and a married mother of 3 who received life-saving care at our Ann Arbor Health Center. Please help me and welcome Cinda to the podium to share her story.
Thank you, everyone, and I'm here to say I stand for Planned Parenthood! I stand for Planned Parenthood! Yes! As has been said before, this is not about birth control. This is about our right. This is about choice. This is about saving lives. My story is one many don't know. I went to a Planned Parenthood office to get a routine exam. I was in between jobs, had no insurance. My practitioner noticed that my thyroid gland was swollen. She said, Cinda, we're going to do a thyroid exam. We're going to see what's wrong with you. Medically, a month later, I was told that I had a life-threatening disorder. I was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism. I didn't think it meant a big deal. But within 3 weeks, my heart was palpitating. I could have died. Planned Parenthood saved my life. It wasn't about birth control. It wasn't about abortion. It was about me as a woman. They helped me. My daughter is in college. My son attends U of M. And I have a 9-year-old. I have planned my children. And I stand with Planned Parenthood. Everyone should have a choice and a right and the access to quality care. Everyone should be able to go with autonomy and get care. We all deserve it, whether we have insurance or not. And I'm here today to say we all must get loud and we must call our senators and stand for Planned Parenthood.
Thank you, Cinda. It's sometimes really tough to get up and tell your story, but what an amazing job she did, and that is the kind of thing that we need to share with people, and that's what Congress needs to hear, that we're here and we do provide life-saving care for so many women. So Senator Rebecca Warren is no stranger to our movement. Before serving the people of Ann Arbor in the Michigan legislature, she worked alongside of a lot of us here in the trenches. As executive director for Mayrol, we worked together to fight off harmful restrictions on a woman's right to choose and also fought for common sense policies to make sure women had the tools they needed to plan their pregnancies. While in the House, it was Representative Warren who led the efforts on the Prevention First package of bills. Last year, it was particularly exciting for us to be able to stand together and celebrate the passage of 4 proactive bills. That was the first time we saw that in over a decade. So without her hard work, we wouldn't have been able to get that, and we wouldn't have some of the most important victories we've had recently in the legislature here in Michigan. Senator Warren is out of town today, however, has sent her district staff person, Kristen Ocampo, to join us. Please help me in welcoming Kristen to the podium.
I'm here from State Senator Rebecca Warren's office office, and I just have to say that the senator will be thrilled when I tell her how many students and community members came out today to show their support for Planned Parenthood. As you already know, Planned Parenthood provides so many critical services for the women in Michigan. Breast exams, cancer screening, family planning resources, these are all vital to the health of women and families in our state. Many of you also know that Senator Warren has long been a supporter of Planned Parenthood's work. As the executive director of Mayoral Pro-Choice Michigan for 7 years, Senator Warren worked with Planned Parenthood on a number of proactive initiatives to protect women's health and to advocate for a full range of reproductive options. In the Michigan legislature, Senator Warren introduced a Prevention First package. One of the bills in this package was known as the contraceptive equity legislation that would require insurance companies to provide full coverage for contraceptives just like they do for other drugs. Because isn't it strange that companies will cover everything from allergy medication to Viagra but not birth control? Senator Warren will introduce these bills again in the Michigan Senate this session, and she looks forward to continuing to work with Planned Parenthood in their important work. So on behalf of Senator Warren, I want to thank everyone for coming out today and showing that Ann Arbor stands with Planned Parenthood.
Thanks so much. What do we want? Planned Parenthood! When do we want it? Always! What do we want? Planned Parenthood! When do we want it? Always! What do we want? Planned Parenthood! When do we want it? Always! So despite the continuous efforts of our anti-Planned Parenthood foes in Congress that we've heard a lot about today, we do have some unbelievable supporters that champion our issues year in and year out. Senator Stabenow is one of those champions for us in the U.S. Senate. With everything going on, I don't think it's a surprise that now more than ever, we need leaders who will advocate for policies that empower women and help them plan their families. Now more than ever, we need strong pro-choice leaders speaking up for the women and men who often don't have a voice in these policy discussions. Now more than ever, we need elected officials who will stand up and fight for the same values that you and I have. Now more than ever, we need senators like Senator Stabenow. Senator Stabenow couldn't be here today, but she has sent Barbara McCallahan in her place. Barbara has worked for the senator for many years, and we are honored that she could come join us.
Good afternoon, Planned Parenthood! I am about to say something I never thought I would say on U of M's Diag. Go Pink! On behalf of Senator Stabenow, I am Barbara McCallahan. I'm the statewide director of community affairs, and I welcome all of you here today, especially those holding the pro-Planned Parenthood signs. I can be loud too. Senator Stabenow has been a longtime champion for women's health, fighting to make sure women have access to the care they need, from cancer screenings to maternity care. And let's make this clear, Senator Stabenow voted against the House of Representatives' proposal to cut off support for women's health centers like Planned Parenthood. Senator Stabenow has also called on her colleagues in Congress and the White House not to cut off support of women's health care through such atrocities. These atrocities would shut down health centers that serve 3 million women each year, provide nearly 1 million life-saving screenings, as we just heard about. For cervical cancer, more than 830,000 breast exams, nearly 4 million tests and treatments for STDs,
including HIV. If this is eliminated, this puts women's lives at risk. Women's health centers provide critical primary and preventative care for women, and over 90% of the health care offered by Planned Parenthood centers is preventative. These are centers that are not only the source of primary care for many women who would be at risk of losing trusted health care providers. Over 6 in 10 women who access health care at women's health centers such as Planned Parenthood, this is their source of main health care. This is due not only to women often being uninsured, but in fact, in certain communities and rural areas, Planned Parenthood health centers are the only facilities offering women's health care services. I want to make one point perfectly clear. Cutting off support to women's health centers such as Planned Parenthood has nothing to do with reducing our nation's deficit. Nothing. You see, this preventative health care, like all of the screenings provided at the centers, saves taxpayers' dollars in the long run. Studies indicate that every dollar invested in our centers saves $3.74. So $1, $3.74 saved. That's an investment, not a cost. There is nothing about cutting funding to Planned Parenthood or women's health centers that creates jobs or strengthens our economy. In fact, it will have the exact opposite effect. Not only will health centers be forced to close, many uninsured women and their families also may go without care, become more ill, and even worse, be kept from the workforce. There are 28 Planned Parenthood centers in Michigan serving 81,000 patients. In 2009 alone, they provided 55,000 cancer screenings that detected 3,800 abnormal results. This is not about deficits, people. This is about taking away our rights. Thank you.
Wow. I don't know about you, but this was certainly a great way for me to start my Saturday. That someone like Congressman Pence could be here to see how many supporters we have, how many people are standing up with Planned Parenthood here in Michigan and across the country. So I think it seems like a great time to transition to the Walk for Choice. I'd like to hand the program over to Maddie Weisberg. Maddie is a student at U of M and one of the organizers for the walk today. And from what I hear, Maddie is a veteran rally attender and organizer. I'd like to personally thank Maddie for helping organize this walk and thank the Students for Choice here at U of M for helping recruit people and come. It's because of supporters like each of you that we're able to continue to win this fight. It's because of people like you that we're able to show Congress that we do have the overwhelming support of Americans. And it's because of people like you that despite Congress's best efforts, Planned Parenthood's doors will remain open. Will remain open today, tomorrow, and far into the future to serve the people who need us most. So thank you so much for your support. The power of pink is a lovely thing. So I'm going to turn it over to Maddie, and before I do, Carol's just going to get back up here to give you some logistical details. Thanks, everyone.